Hey guys, it's me, Ty, and welcome back to another video. Today, we are going to be doing more tier lists here on the channel today. It's going to be pretty fun. But before we start, I'd like to say a few things, just to clarify some things. First off, you're probably wondering why I'm doing another tier list video. I've been doing quite a few of these recently. Um, and just like I said in the last video, very simply, I really enjoy making these videos. It's very fun, and I'd like you guys to get involved too, because these kinds of videos are really fun because not only are is it something that both you and I can enjoy at the same time, but it's also something that really lets you be yourself, and everybody likes to do that. Hopefully, everybody. Um, but like I said, I'd like you guys to get more involved in this because if I enjoy it, I want you guys to enjoy it too. So if you could, and you have some suggestions on tier lists you'd like me to do, please leave a comment down below on what you would like to see me do a tier list on in some one of the next future videos, and I'll definitely consider it for that video. Other than that, if you enjoy these, you should definitely leave a like down below and subscribe. But let's get into these. Um, like I said, these are tier lists, so it's gonna be my opinion. So if you don't agree with that, you can't really judge me because this is me making the video, and I'm just doing what you do in tier lists. So, if you have a different opinion, you should definitely leave a comment down below on what you think you would rank this as. I would definitely like to see that. Um, but other than that, that's basically the basis. I have chosen 4 tier lists for us to do today. The last 2 are pretty long. The first 2 are pretty short. But let's get into this. It'll be a bit of a longer video, but it shouldn't be too bad. As you can see on the screen here, we're starting off with Star Wars movies and TV shows. It's not fully up to date. You can't see shows like Endor on here, which kind of sucks, but this is the best one I could find, so we're gonna have to roll with it. But starting off here, we're gonna go from the prequels to the just the kind of in the middle movies. Um, I completely forgot what the phrase you would say is called, but and then we got the sequels, and then we got the spin-offs kind of movies, and then we got the TV shows. Um, the rankings, I kind of like how they look. They show off the different Jedi rankings. So there's from youngling to grandmaster, which is really cool. Obviously, on the top here is the best, meaning they're like top tier, really good show or movie. Or youngling means they're bad and just they're not really likable. And then these are just kind of like in the middle, like higher in the middle or lower in the middle. That's basically how tier lists work. You'll understand it more as the video goes. But let's get into this. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so this is gonna be pretty fun. Um, I grew up on the prequels, so these are gonna be pretty high for me. But Episode One is definitely, I'd say, master. It's not the best Star Wars movie, but it's a really good one, and it definitely lives up to being a good one. I definitely say it's on the edge of being a council member, or as you could just say it as A tier. But um, I'd say that it's not exactly perfect to be able to achieve that rank. You know what? I changed my mind. It's council member. It's a very good movie. There's a lot of good music in that movie, a lot of epic scenes, and there's some of the most iconic stuff in Star Wars is from this movie. Characters were introduced by this movie, like iconic fan favorites like Jar Jar Binks, Qui-Gon Jinn, and characters like Obi-Wan Kenobi were shown in their younger forms in this, and we got to see characters like um what's his name? Um, the guy that's on the picture there, the guy in the background, his face, you can kind of see him. It's Darth Maul. That's his name. Darth Maul is a really cool character, and he was a great introduction. Everybody was scared when they saw he had double-sided lightsabers. That was awesome. And his fight scene with Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan is just phenomenal. One of the most iconic Star Wars fight scenes of all time. It's awesome. That is a really good movie. Episode 2 is Master. It definitely doesn't live up to the power of the first of the prequel movies, and then the last one, it doesn't live up to their shine, which is a little sad, but the movie is still pretty good, so it definitely has points to be up there. It still has very iconic scenes. It introduces iconic characters like Boba Fett, um, at least as a child. It introduces Born to Anakin and Padme getting together, and it also gets us more into the council and their things. It kind of shows off more of how um the Emperor is secretly evil. Which kind of is spoilers if you haven't watched Star Wars, but yes, spoiler alert, I guess. Um, it's a really solid movie, and it really gets into it. There's a lot of fun and iconic scenes, but I don't know if I think it would live up to the power of the other 2. Now, though, we get into some real business. We got the 3rd movie, and this one, in my personal opinion, this is my favorite Star Wars movie. But since I'm gonna be ranking this by my opinion and also a bit of how actually good the movie is, um, yeah, as you can probably guess, I'm putting a Grandmaster. This movie is if you want to talk about Star Wars masterpieces, this is a Star Wars movie. That's this type of Star Wars movie you want to see. It's got a mix of epic action and cool emotion and epic storytelling and compelling characters. It shows off what we're gonna see. The good relationships and good chemistry between characters like Anakin and Obi-Wan. Um it really shows it off. It gives the origins and the start to the original trilogy. That's what you would call it, the original trilogy. Um, and it's just phenomenal. This movie is a 10 out of 10 when it comes to Star Wars. When it comes to Star Wars, though, it's definitely not the best movie ever, but it's a really good one. And in Star Wars terms, it's a 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Now the original trilogy. The first movie is definitely Master. Um, I'm not gonna be counting the quality of how good the show or movie looks, that much. There's gonna be maybe some mentions of looks, but they're not gonna be really counted, especially for the older stuff, like these movies, since they came first before everything else here. Since they're really old, they're not gonna look as good as the others, so I'm not gonna really count them for that. But this movie's pretty good. It definitely starts off Star Wars and introduces us some iconic characters like Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, Chewbacca, R2D2, C3PO, Darth Vader, literally everybody. It really hits us with a banger of a movie. And it's a pretty good one. It starts off well. It's really good. It's Star Wars. That's what you would say about that movie. It's Star Wars. That's the perfect way to represent it. The next movie is this one. I'd say it's also Master. It's okay. I don't think it's as good as the first one, but it's still a pretty good movie and has some iconic parts to it that I definitely think are still noteworthy, and that's why it's worth still Master. The last one is also Master. These are all pretty very similar in quality, and they all follow that same Star Wars formula back then in the day that really works well and meshes together. And because of that, the movies just are good, and they're all just above mid tier. And that just really helps them out there because these two are kind of like our mid tiers. Like this is a bit higher mid tier, and this is a bit lower mid tier. And because of that, they are working together to say these are good and above average, and that's a good thing. now we get to the sequel trilogy, and this is where opinions start going from positive to negatives. As I bet a good handful of people could agree. I wasn't a huge fan of these movies. I don't hate them that much. There's definitely movies that are far worse than these, but I think they could have been a bit better. The Force Awakens is nice. It's okay. It could be better. There's definitely better movies out there than it, but it's not terrible to say the least, but I don't think it lived up to what Star Wars really is, and because of that, I don't think it deserves to be any higher. Uh okay, now this one's also nice. Um which one's this? This I cannot even read that. The Last Jedi. I think it's The Last Jedi. Yeah, it is. Um, I don't even remember the names. That's a little bad. But this one, it's okay. I think I know like a single meme about this that I see a bit everywhere, every now and then. But other than that, I don't think this movie is really memorable at all. It didn't really have too much importance compared to the story, but it felt like the movie was just a big lead up to the last movie, and it really didn't even have much shine compared to the other two in it. It's just there's just a thing in Star Wars with the middle of the bunch that doesn't really hit as good as the other two. But it's still good enough to where I'd say it's on par with Force Awakens. Force Awakens is definitely better, far better, but I don't know if it's still I don't think it's bad enough to where it should be lower than that. Um Now, the end of Star Wars movies, the thing that ended it all, and it was a bad ending. Don't get me wrong, the movie was pretty epic, but dang did they yeah, man, I did not I thought the movie could be better. That's all I'm gonna say. This one's I'm definitely gonna say it's also night. These are all on par. I'd definitely say Force Awakens is the best. Um Force Awakens is close to being a master tier, but I don't think it is good enough to where it's gonna be in that tier. It just didn't hit like the other original movies like did. It's supposed to be the big ending. The end scene with all the ships and the excitement. It's pretty cool, but we didn't get as much look into that as we wanted probably to have. And that's just a little sad. I did like the scene where Rey's fighting Emperor Palpatine and stuff. But, it's just a little weird that they introduce stuff like force healing in these movies, even though that we could have had that a long time ago and it would have been pretty cool. So it just hurts to watch. As a huge Star Wars fan, it hurts to watch to know that force healing existed and Anakin never got to use it, even though it wasn't that hard to use in the first place. It pains to see. It pains to see. But now we get into the spin-off movies. We got Rogue One and Solo. Rogue One I'd say is master. This one's pretty good. I actually think it's pretty close to being a council member actually. Um I can see why some people wouldn't like this movie, but I personally really liked it because of how unique the story is. First of all, I think it's actually kinda cool, the fact that, the way that they don't include these characters in the future, they just kill them off at the end of the movie, which, yes, more spoilers, but you're gonna have to deal with it. I already gave you the warning then. But it's it's a unique story, it helps introduce new characters that people might like. Um it's gonna be funny. It has some good funny moments. It has some cool characters. another fun memeable droid. Um, it has some nice characters, new storytelling, and it's a pretty solid movie. It really shapes things up and helps us give more backstory on how the rebels here got their hands on the Death Star plans, which is really really cool. Now, Solo, I'd say, is probably a Padawan. The movie was okay, I guess, but you're probably wondering why. I bet there's gotta be a good handful out there that could agree with me on this, but I didn't really like this movie. There's a lot that just was really random. A lot of the movie didn't make much sense. There was things that they were trying to show that never have been shown. It didn't really shape up anything, it didn't really help, and I think the biggest thing that a lot of people could probably agree with is that it was kind of unnecessary, wasn't it? That's really just my opinion, but I just feel like we could have been fine without the movie. Don't get me wrong, it's still something you can sit down and watch, but I don't know if it's something I'd want to watch all the time. And it still gets me asking why specifically a backstory for him. I guess he made the most sense because he didn't have much backstory behind him. He kind of just appeared. But with all the stuff he's already said in the movies and this stuff, why do we need it still? I th- we could have. I think if we had like a movie themed around, I don't know, young Anakin or something like that, anybody, it would probably have gotten in a similar situation. But still, it makes you ask the question why. That's all I'm gonna say. Now we get to the TV shows. We get all the movies out of the way now. And now we get to the actually pretty good stuff. The movies have always been good, but there's just something about Star Wars TV shows that's always been better. And that is something that everybody likes. First of all, Clone Wars is immediately Grandmaster. This is, in my opinion, one of the best shows your kid can watch. Yes, there are some things in this show that are very questionable and maybe not for kids, but it's Star Wars and they make it as kid appropriate as possible and it works and I love it. I love this show to my life. I watch this all the time. I'm a teenager. I'm a very old teenager. I'm almost out of high school and look at this. I still watch this. This show, I watched this when I was like 7, 8. I was really young. Uh, Probably even younger when I watched it. This is quality. I love this. It's got a lot of good seasons. Almost every episode's a banger. It's just so good. Quality show. Very high quality show. This is one of the few moments I'm gonna mention art style, but I really like the art style of this show, and a lot of people can probably agree with me that when I think about Star Wars art style, I think about the Clone Wars. The more dirty look to it, the nice, fun aesthetic. You're always in a war in each episode. You always feel involved, and I love that. It's serious all the time, and I love that. Such a good quality show. And that and don't worry, the good stuff doesn't go away because this show was so good, they had to make an entire final season just to wrap it up a few years later. By a few, I mean like 10 years, but still. Um, it's just so good that they had to make new season like 10 years later. That's how good it was. The Clone Wars final season was a huge banger. This one is on par with it. It wraps everything up and gets right, and it ends right when the this movie is starting. Halfway through this movie, when Order 66 is happening, this show happens. During the time of that, so it really shapes up to it and kind of shows you more insight, and it's just so good, and it just helps wrap things up better, and a lot of people are gonna like that. Um, I wish I wish we had Andor and like Bad Batch on here because they would be pretty good. I'll actually get those out of the way. If it was Andor, I'd put that in Master, and then Bad Batch I'd put that in Council Member because Bad Batch is pretty good show. It's got the nice art style that we like to see, which is really cool because you'd think that a few years late, like 10 years later, after the Clone Wars is over, that they would have upgraded looks and art style for everything, but no. Well, it's definitely updated and looks a lot smoother. It still looks very similar and has the same charm of the original art style from the Clone Wars show that a lot of people like, and because of that, it stays just as good as it was, and it's phenomenal. That's why people still liked it. It was that good. But moving on, we get to another pretty solid Star Wars show. This one is kind of following the path of the Clone Wars, where where it happens during the time period of kind of like the middle-ish movie of each time period. This time we got Rebels, which takes place during the Empire. Rebels, I'd say, is a master. It definitely doesn't live up to the Clone Wars in any way possible, but it's still a very good show. It's actually I'm gonna put this in Council Member. It's a pretty good show. It's got some fun, iconic members. It's very watchable. It's enjoyable. It's got the art style that you're gonna enjoy. It's it's a nice show. It's a very nice show. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a very nice show. Um, Resistance is a Padawan. I don't really like the art style. It's kind of weird, and I don't like how it looks. It's not unappealing, but it just I don't like it. It's a lot of the parts of the show is a bit. It's got that modern TV show syndrome where it's kind of corny, and I don't really like that. Um, I don't really know why. I just don't really like it. But like I said though, this is my opinion, so there's just something about it that I don't really like. And plus I just found the story to be a little weird. I do like the fact that he's a pilot though, that's kinda cool. Well, anything with like pilots and stuff has always been pretty neat. Mandalorian is our final Grandmaster. I don't need to say a single thing about this show. A single thing. It's just that good. All I need to say is Mandalorian and a baby Yoda. Or correction, Grogu. Yeah, spoilers again. But yeah, that's all I need to say. It's that good. Um, but yeah, there's our tier list. Like I said before, if you want to leave comments down below of what you would rank this, definitely leave those down below in the comments. But other than that, let's move on to our next one. Close that tab. And now these next two are actually themed around something I personally love. Spider-Man. I am a enormous Marvel fan. I grew up on Marvel. Before all the video games and the TV shows and the Star Wars, it was Marvel. I love it. I grew up on the movies, the comics, the side stuff, you know? It's everything. But I mainly grew up on those TV shows, especially the TV shows. Um and that just got me into Spider-Man so much. I love this character more than any other Marvel character ever. While personally, my favorite Marvel character is actually Spider-Man 2099, unlike regular Spider-Man. Normal Peter Parker Spider-Man from the 616 universe is definitely a close second. Um, but we have two tier lists here. This one is themed around Spider-Man TV shows. As I just mentioned, I grew up on these, so I'm gonna share my opinions about them. And trust me, they are watchable, so don't click off. But first we have two that I'm going to quickly not touch because I haven't watched them. The Japanese one, obviously, I haven't watched. I'm American, so I haven't watched it. I probably can. I probably could just like search it up, or I don't know, maybe it's on the streaming service. If not, I haven't watched it, so definitely can't say anything. In this one, I have no clue what that is. Despite being a huge Spider-Man fan, I have no clue what that is. It's probably something relevant that I just don't know about. But let's actually get into the stuff I know about. First, we got the oldest Spider-Man TV show here. These looks like they're ordered by the year they came out, but this one is a okay C tier. We are gonna be counting animations and how they look, in these since they're cartoons. Um, but this one's okay. It's definitely more older look to it. Definitely keeps it down in quality, and how limited they were back then really hits the show pretty hard. But other than that, the show is actually pretty solid. It's pretty watchable if you are willing to watch something like it. But other than that, it's definitely C tier. But if it had less if it wasn't as slow, or it didn't have if it had more of the quality but we'd like to see from it, I bet it would be maybe a B tier. Okay, this Spider-Man show, isn't this the same one? Are these just the same? Or am I wrong? Um, I don't know, but this is also C tier. I'm getting these mixed up. I don't know a whole lot about the older Spider-Man TV shows. I probably should watch them since they are on Disney Plus, but I I haven't. So, um, yeah. So I'm just gonna put these all in C tier since they all, um, I don't really know about. I know about them, but I haven't really watched them enough to know about it. But now let's get to the shows that I've actually watched. First off, this one is a B tier. Um, if you want a bit of a darker Spider-Man TV show, this one's definitely your touch. It's got some pretty dark moments. The animation is obviously older and it doesn't look as good as some of the newer shows, but it's still pretty solid and watchable. It doesn't look bad. It actually has a pretty nice, like more comic-like art style to it that I quite like. Um, the voice lines are pretty nice. Characters are really fun and fleshed out. Um, and they have a weird thing. It was they definitely ended this show with a lot of cliffhangers, which is kind of sad, but it's okay. The show's just okay. It's very mid. But it's definitely darker, a lot darker. I'm not gonna spoil it, but all I'm gonna say is that Mary Jane gets quite the beating, and Spider-Man's mental problems go through the roof. Um, well, he doesn't act weird. His mental state is probably not in the nicest place. Um, Now we get to the supposed sequel to this show, Spider-Man Unlimited. This is, I'd say, also a B tier. The animation is okay, and the story is okay, but that's the problem, I guess. The story isn't the most appealing. They try to make use of the character, the High Evolutionary, and this whole, um, like monster, human, animal world, and it's pretty cool. The whole plot of the show is that, Spider-Man here is going to a world that the son of J. Jonah Jameson has been trapped in somehow. So he goes there on the rocket to try and save him. And so most of the episodes take place there, and it's all about human rebels in this alternate world that's been taken over by the High Evolutionary and his animal slash human hybrid people, warriors, and it's pretty intense. But it only had 1 season. The show didn't last long, and it wasn't as good. It's very close to being a C tier, but I think it had the quality and uniqueness enough to where I think it definitely can be worthy of a B tier. but it's very close to falling down to C tier. Um, okay, now we get to C tier garbage. This show is unbelievably wrong in every single way possible. There's probably some people that actually like this. And I question why. This is since I'm a diehard Spider-Man fan, obviously I'm gonna have some pretty strong opinions about this stuff. And the art style of the show is okay, but it is pretty unappealing in my opinion. It has a very it's like the Star Wars Resistance show. It's like that art style if it was a bit more underdeveloped and far more unappealing. Um, the characters look so weird, so weird. Um, Spider-Man's always in the pickle with a bunch of girls for some reason. Um, and there's a lot of threatening things in the show. Like Mary Jane is outright one of the episodes. Mary Jane is outright trying to be killed by someone. And I'm saying Spider-Man, the guy that doesn't kill. You think that that wouldn't be as included as much, but they go with it. Yeah, this show is wrong in every way possible. It's a C tier. But then we went from negatives to positives in a split second because we had the best Spider-Man show of all time, and everybody can agree with this. This is the one I grew up with. This is the one I hopefully a lot of other people, maybe some of you guys watching, have grown up with. If not, you should definitely watch it because this is a top tier Spider-Man show right here. This thing is quality. I love it. If you want to watch Spider-Man, that's Spider-Man right there. That's Spider-Man right there. Well, out of the millions of Spider-Man, I'm pointing at this Spider-Man because that's Spider-Man right there. Um, this is the best Spider-Man experience you're gonna get. It's entertaining. It's cool. There's story. It's the closest thing to the comics you're gonna get. It's so unique and fun that it is the perfect Spider-Man TV show. It's it's this close to perfection in my opinion, one of the best TV shows ever. But that's just my opinion. I don't watch much TV though, so I don't know if I can say much. But um this is just so good. It's so good. I love everything about it. I am so sad that this show had to get basically stopped because Disney eventually bought rights to to make Spider-Man TV shows. But since Sony owned this show, which this show is by the way, it's called The Spectacular Spider-Man, because Sony owned it, they couldn't continue making it. Disney couldn't with the same people. Because of that, they just stopped it outright, which is terrible because the show was so good. It lasted for it had 2 seasons, I'm pretty sure, yeah, 2 seasons, and it hasn't been on anything since. The only way you can watch it is through discs. Recently, it has been brought to Disney Plus, which is a hallelujah, and everybody is praying their butts off that we get a reboot with the same people that directed it because it is that good. But other than that, it's very rare to watch it on anything else. It's just very hard, because if you wanna watch it, you have to own discs. It's no longer on TV normally. Luckily, I'm one of the few that actually owns, disc copies of this. I love this show so much that in the background, as you can see, there's you can see some, stuff behind me, obviously, on a little desk thingy. I have no clue what it's called. I can't think right now, but I have it on display over there. I'm not gonna go get it, but it's very cool, and it's definitely a perfect representation of something collectible and also entertaining at the same time. Um, but yeah, it's just a really good show. That's all I'm gonna say. It is the Spider-Man show. If you want to watch Spider-Man, you're just getting into it. That's the one you want to watch. Now the Ultimate Spider-Man. Since I grew up on this one and Disney took it away from me, obviously I was a kid I didn't really understand that, but I was addicted to Spider-Man, and when I heard Spider-Man was getting a new show on Disney XD, I had to watch it. And so we got The Amazing Spider-Man. This one's in the A tier. Um, yes, this has some edge due to nostalgia, since it's also very nostalgic to me, like the Spectacular Spider-Man, since I also grew up on this one technically, right after Spectacular Spider-Man went bye-bye. But the show's okay. It's watchable, but there's a lot of moments where you're gonna say, "Eh," or "What?" The show is definitely aimed more for younger kids, and that's why it's far more appealing to me when I was younger. But watching it today hurts a bit more to watch, but it's still okay. It's a Spider-Man show, and it makes it work, and it looks good enough to where I gotta say that it's at least worthy of an A tier, but I don't know if it's got the quality. It's not even near having the quality of the Spectacular Spider-Man. And now we have the modern day Spider-Man, and this one is hit or miss. A lot of people actually kind of like it. A lot of people don't really like it. I'm kind of in the in between. I kind of go back and forth a lot of times, but mostly I'm in the negative. I'm gonna put this show in B tier. I don't really like it that much. The animation is okay, but it's got that simplistic look to it that a lot of people don't like, and I don't like. It takes away from the complicated, fun-looking art styles of most shows, and just makes it more simple and bland. And a lot of people aren't gonna like that, and I don't like that. Um, and the story really kicks off weirdly because he goes straight to Horizon Labs, something Spider-Man doesn't do in the comics until like many years later, like, more recent obviously, it's taking more inspiration from more recent comics, but still, um, it just pains to watch. It's definitely another one aimed more for kids, but I just don't know if I like it as much as The Ultimate Spider-Man. It just doesn't have the umph or the looks that that show had. It didn't introduce as much likable characters as it. And that's something that doesn't really charm as much as something like The Ultimate Spider-Man or The Spectacular Spider-Man. But other than that, that's my tier list. If you guys have watched these two that I didn't rank, you should definitely include those in your tier list in the comments down below, and I definitely like to see those. But let's get into our final tier list because this video is going on pretty fairly long now. Actually, no, this isn't our last one. I'm getting them mixed up. But second to last, another Spider-Man one. As you can see, there's a lot. Spider-Man has a lot of suits, so obviously this is a very solid selection. I did look through a few of these, and I haven't seen my favorite suit in here, so I'm really hoping it's here, or else I'm gonna be a little sad. But if it is here, I'm going to rank it. If it isn't, I'm also gonna rank it. But um, these are Spider-Man suits, so these are gonna be ranked by the comic they're in. How good is the comic? How good does the suit look? Is the character that the suit is being worn by somebody respectable? Is it someone we like? Do I like? The basics. Um, Now we got the original cartoon Spider-Man suit. For looks, I'd say C tier. His comedy is old, which is expected for an older character. The suit is kind of bland. It's got a lot of missing web detail. It's only on the mask, and it's okay, but it could be so much better. Now, now we got the black suit symbiote suit Spider-Man. I'd say this one's an A tier. Yes, it is 100% very bland. It's only black and white, and it's just that. But oh my gosh, does it look cool? Very cool. Very cool. There's just every part of it I really like. It's nostalgic, it's really iconic, very, very cool looking. It works so well with Spider-Man, everybody has to admit that. It just looks really good on him. And that's something everybody can like. And it introduced Venom, everybody's fan favorite Spider-Man villain. And because of that, obviously it's gonna have a lot of edge over a lot of others. Now, while this suit might look golden in the picture, it's actually his Iron Spider suit from the comics. And I'd say this suit's also an A tier. Not as good as the symbiote suit, but it's definitely iconic enough and cool enough to where it gets some edge. It has such a fun story because it's in the comics. It's included as part of the Civil War. That's the suit he wore during that. It's pretty cool. It looks cool. It has its nice colors. It's included in a few Spider-Man shows, like the Ultimate Spider-Man. Um, it's got some functionalities. It's like Iron Man-ish. And it's just cool and it's iconic. So it definitely has a lot of edge. Um, now Um, I think this is the End of the World Spider-Man. I think that's what it's called. I'm not gonna remember every name for these Spider-Man characters, but you're gonna get the idea. Um, I'm pretty sure this one is about the what's his I don't really remember the origins of this one. This one's not as something I can really remember, but I'm gonna say that it's a B tier. It looks okay, but the jacket looks a bit nice, but I don't know if it's as something I remember as well as anything else. A Future Foundation suit. This is an A tier. This is a more new one, but just like the um symbiote suit, the black and white on Spider-Man looks super good. A lot of people can admit that. And it's just really, really good looking on him. The suit is really cool. The way the origins of it is pretty cool because that suit, the Future Foundation suit, is the suit he wears when he joins the Fantastic Four temporarily in their little like Future Foundation kind of like organization kind of like thing. It's pretty cool because he temporarily replaces, I think, Johnny Blaze on the Fantastic Four for a while. And it's a really cool suit. I really like it. It's a definitely it's a newer one, but it's good enough to where it gets a high spot. Um okay, we got Spider-Punk. Spider-Punk is a B tier. The spikes are cool, the jacket's cool, he's a cool punk Spider-Man, but other than that, he really doesn't do much else, and that's why he's just really in the middle. Um Spider UK is B tier also. His suit is just like a UK version of his normal suit, and he's just like a different person. But other than that, and his unique abilities, he doesn't do a whole much else. I guess you could say, you guess you could argue because of his powers compared to the others, and the fact that his entire universe was outright destroyed during the Spider Verse event in the comics. But other than that, he's really hasn't done much. He's definitely a higher B tier though. Um, who is this? Okay, this I think is the multiple arm Spider-Man. I think he's got multiple arms there. I say this one's B tier. Mainly because it's just Spider-Man with multiple arms. He's got a unique, funny story to him, but other than that, it's not really anything special. Ben Riley Spider-Man's an A tier only because of two things actually, looks and nostalgic. He's iconic character, the iconic clone of Spider-Man. His suit is very cool looking. It's just like a makeshift suit and it looks cool, and I bet a lot of people can agree with me on that. He's just a fun character, and he's made some pretty prominent appearances in the comics that makes him such a memorable and lovable character. He's always been shifting back and forth between neutral, good guy and bad guy. And that's kind of cool. In some ways it's good, some ways it's bad, but he's just been a cool character. Um, Spider-Man, this is one of the future versions of Spider-Man's with the name I don't remember. Because it's just a bunch of mishmash numbers. This one's a B tier. It looks a bit cool, I guess, but for the futuristic Spider-Man, I don't know if I like it as much as others. And because of that, I don't think I'm gonna rank it much higher. Okay, and now we got let's see what is that? I think that's the Asgardian. Is that when he gets the power-ups from the Asgardian power thing? I think that's what that is, yeah. I'm putting this one's B tier. It's a high B tier, definitely. It looks very, very cool. Um, but I don't know if it's memorable. As a huge Spider-Man fan, if I don't know what it is, I don't think it's gonna be able to earn the edge over others. But I think if something it has edge over the other mid tiers is that it's definitely very, very cool looking. And I really like that. Okay, this is Fantastic Four suit. Is this even canon? Um, don't know why his Fantastic Four suit looks like that in the picture, but um, we're gonna imply that this is. Oh, it's right there. Okay. But this one I'd say is a C tier. It's okay looking, I guess. Actually, no, B tier. Um, it's okay looking. It's a Fantastic Four suit. You can't really say much other than that. Once we get to the other Fantastic Four suit, when he originally joined the Fantastic Four, though, then it's gonna get a huge bump up. Let's see, what is this? Like a golden Spider-Man suit? Um, I guess it's B tier. It's golden. I guess that's kind of cool. It's probably an alternate version of Spider-Man that I just don't know about. There's a lot of versions of him that are very obscure compared to others, so I'm not gonna know them as well. Okay, we got Miles Morales here. Looks like this is his normal look, his normal suit from the comics. Actually, these are just the normal versions of Spider-Man and Miles. It looks like some Miles Morales suits are in here too, which is kind of cool. Um, Miles' suit is an A tier. It looks very cool. It's definitely a cooler, more updated version of Spider-Man's. It's less flashy and more stealthy. It's got more of the teenager vibes that you get from Miles Morales, and I like that. And and it's a very cool suit. Original Spider-Man suit, only because of nostalgia and how good it looks, it's an S tier. And nobody can question that because it's got the power of Spider-Man plot armor on its side, so you can't question that. Um, okay, we got the Spider Armor Mark IV. I'd say this one's a B tier. Compared to the other armor, it looks cool, but it just is a bit bland compared to the others because it's just like a glowing version of his other suits, like his normal suit, and because of that, I don't know if it's as unique as the others. But it's definitely cool though. I definitely say it's some edge over the other suits. Um, what suit is this? Huh. I have no clue what that suit is, but um, so I'm just gonna rank it off a look. I'd say B tier. Spider-Man, Miles Morales Spider-Man 2099. This one's an A tier. This one looks sick. Just the cool hollow helmet and the nice jacket. It looks pretty cool. You gotta admit. Miles Morales' new look in this new Spider-Man PS5 game. PS4, PS5, whatever you'd like to say, but I'd say this is an A tier. It's on par, same level as this one, just because they look pretty similar. This suit is B tier. It's kind of cool, but I'd say it's a bit of a downgrade from the original look. The white can be appealing to some people. For me, I'd say it's a bit of a downgrade. Um, okay, the fantastic the the bombastic bag Spider-Man, whatever you'd like to call him. This is made here 100%. This is a funny outfit. It looks funny. It is funny. He's wearing a bag on his head instead of a mask. And guess what? Because he's wearing it because the Human Torch gave it to him as his new Fantastic Four mask alongside his suit as a joke. And it's hilarious because of that, and everybody likes that. Okay, the negative suit. This one's also an A tier. It's normal Spider-Man suit, but it's negative, and it looks pretty cool. It's got a cool glowy effect, and in the game it's in, it's got a cool power-up too. It's pretty cool. I like it. Spider-Man's new rehaul look from the Spider-Man PS4 game is definitely an A tier. It looks so good. I have to admit this is one of the best rehash kind of new looks for his normal suit that he's gotten in a long time. It looks so good. The white Spider logo and the more white on it just looks really good. It adds more of the techie feel that you expect to see from Peter Parker since he's such a tech whiz. And it's just really cool. It's just a really solid and cool suit, and that's why it's good. And I'm happy that they're using it more often, especially even in the comics. It's very, very good. Um, the Iron Spider suit from the movies is a B tier. It looks cool, I guess, but it's too much like this suit and less like this suit to where I don't like it as much. And because of that, it doesn't get the edge. The Stark suit from the movies, I'd say is a C tier. I guess it's a fine, I'd say B tier. It's a fine little redo of his new original suit, but I don't think I like it that much. It just looks a bit too bland, I guess. Doesn't have the personality, I feel. But his suit definitely shows it though with the eye expressions, which is pretty funny addition. A stealth suit is B tier. It looks pretty cool. All these are just B tiers. Homemade suit, I guess, is B tier also. Um, yeah, all these B tier. All these versions of him from the movies are all B tiers. They are okay, but they could be so much better. And that's all I'm gonna say. Because they could be better. Okay, now Kane. Kane Scarlet Spire. Scarlet Spire 2. A tier. Looks so cool. The red and black combo looks phenomenal. That is awesome. That's mwah, chef's kiss. That is awesome. That is a good suit right there. I think Kane has better style sense than Miles Morales, Ben Parker, and Peter Parker combined. And I said Ben Parker. I meant to say Ben Riley. But yeah, he's got better fashion sense than all of them. But it really does fit him the best though, since he is really his whole thing is that he's supposed to be edgy clone. You know, he's supposed to be a more in the side, and he's supposed to be more serious and intense than the others, and that really reflects well with his suit. Um, the Spider-Man suit from Spectacular gets a lot of edge since the show is really good, and the suit overall is pretty good. It looks a lot like Spider-Man's normal suit, which is always a good thing because if that suit's in S tier, a normal version of the suit that looks a lot like it's gonna get some edge. It looks really cool, and it's got some unique factors that helps match with its animation art style in the show and just its look in general to where it's a really likable looking suit. It's very appealing to look at. And especially kind of like the just the uniqueness of it. Like the eyes have unique shape and everything. It's just pretty cool, you know? It's something you can really like. Um, next, we got some Spider-Man movies. We got Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Don't know why his suit is ripped, but these suits are B tiers. Uh, they look cool, and I really like the silver webbing. I think that's a really cool touch to help him stand out during the movies. But I don't know if it's good enough to where it's definitely a memorable suit, but I don't know if it's something I really enjoy as much as other suits, but it definitely has some nostalgia connected to it to where it definitely gets some edge. A Spider-Man 2099 suit is also an S tier, um, or a second S tier. It is so good. Yes, there's a lot of edge since I said that he was my favorite Spider-Man. Um, he's just my favorite Marvel character in general, Miguel O'Hara. But oh my god, is that suit awesome! The blue and red combo looks phenomenal. The intenseness, it shows off the futuristic vibe while also not being futuristic at the same time, and it works so well. It looks awesome. So cool. So cool. Um, I don't think it's on here, but if they had the rehashed white version of the suit, it would get immediate S tier also because that one is an upgrade from this one. And you thought this one was good? Wait until you see the upgrade. Because it is just phenomenal. Okay. We got the black suit Spider-Man. It's also B tier because it's just a symbiote version of it, just like this one. Definitely not as memorable as the comics version, but it definitely has some edge. Um, Over these, definitely say it's top tier compared to these ones since it just looks pretty cool. And like I said, the silver webbing really helps add some distinct, helps it pop out more, and that's really good. Um, okay, Miles Morales is a dollar store outfit. I'd say it's a C tier just because it looks silly. And it's not as appealing, but it is memeable, so I'll put it in B tier instead. Miles Morales movie in the movie is definitely an A tier. It looks super cool. It fits the art style very well, and that jacket and look just really works well. Um, the like depressed Spider-Man, I guess that's what you can call him. Also an A tier. It's just a more it's just a version of this suit that's more fitting to this art style. Doesn't have the nostalgia connected or the actuality of being this Spider-Man behind it to where it is memorable, but it's still very good looking and it has edge because of that. Him without the suit, C tier because it just looks weird and it does not look like Spider-Man at all. I guess that movie, I guess you could say, looks like Peter Parker, but I don't think without the suit, is it really a suit? That's what you gotta say. Um, Peter Porker, got Spider Ham's nest here. He is a silly character. From his original comics to his appearances in more modern cartoons in in the Spider-Verse movie, he looks so silly and good in that movie. He just fits so well, and it's phenomenal. He is great. And his design fits so well, and I like how he has as the little nose thing. He has bonus eyes there, and that's genius. Spider-Man Neuer is also an A tier. That he just got that edgy, cool vibe, and he just fits the back in the day theme of the time period he's from so well that it just works great, and it's phenomenal because of that. Um, okay, Spider-Man India, and don't get the wrong idea, that's his actual name. I think that's who this is. Or is it the manga? I think it's the manga Spider-Man actually. I got it mixed up. I think it's either or. It's either the manga version or the India. I think it's Spider-Man from the manga. B tier. He's okay. He's just Spider-Man with a less of the suit on and more um bandages, I guess, on his hands. Uh oh, got Sneeze in there. What is that? Is that just a suit on from Amazon? In D tier. I don't like the look of that. Okay. The suit from the one of the TV shows, Spider-Man Unlimited. I'd say it's a B tier. It looks okay. It's a higher B tier, I guess. It looks cool, I guess, but it could be better. It could be better. Um, it doesn't look terrible. It fits the art style of the show, though. Like Galactic Spider-Man, whatever his name is. Captain Universe Spider-Man, I think that's his name. A tier. He looked super cool. I like how you can see his mask a bit, And his powers are awesome. Yes, I know he dies in the comics. More spoilers, rip. But still, he's just awesome. I like him as a character, and he's just got a really cool suit. Um, I have no clue what that is. I think that's a Spider-Man samurai. Um, it looks kind of cool. I'd say it's a high B tier. Um, it's cool, I guess. I don't know if it has much edge, but it looks kind of cool. Cyborg Spider-Man is an A tier just because of the fact that he's a cyborg and he looks super cool. I guess he's got some silliness to him that makes him a low A tier, but still he looks pretty cool. Um, Amazing Spider-Man. B tier for all of his suits. The homemade suit looks very, very dumb. And this one looks pretty good. This one's also pretty cool. I'd say they're definitely on par with Sam Raimi's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man suits, where they have the nostalgia and the cool looks behind them, to where they're definitely perfect mid-tier options. But they have a bit edge over some others. But yeah. Okay, we got this again. This, just by looking at it, it's a D tier. You can tell that he's got like glasses on. It looks a bit cheesy. I don't like it. This Spider-Man Knight from the Ultimate Show. Oh, he's cool. He's got like cool armor. I'm putting this A tier. It looks cool. I wish they include this guy in the comics because he looks awesome. Wow. The cowboy one's a B tier. He's pretty cool too. I guess he's a higher B tier, but he looks pretty cool. Um, I like him pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Um, no clue who that is. Yeah, it's looks like the big time suit's not on here either, which is kind of sad. This guy's B tier. He looks okay. Same with this, and this one's okay. Um, yeah, that's my tier list. Yeah. If that's my tier list for Spider-Man suits, obviously leave a comment down below on what you would have as your tier list. I'd like to see that. And let's get over to our last tier list. The video has gone pretty long now, and this one is gonna be our longest one and the biggest one. So I'm gonna be speed running this one. Quickly saying some things about the character and then moving on. This is a Smash Bros. Tier list. Yes, things clearly aren't organized. It's not my fault. Clearly, the person that made this did not organize it very well. But it looks good, and we are going to be ranking every Smash Bros. Character and fighter. Since the Smash Bros. Series, as you know, has been blowing up on my channel, which I actually should say, thank you guys so much for all the views on the first Smash Bros. Video we had on the channel. It has a whopping, like, 3,000 or something and more views. It's phenomenal. Thank you guys so much for all that and the support. I really enjoy it, and I hope you guys enjoy more of that series. But here on this video, let's rank every character from the game, because obviously I play Smash Bros. Almost daily. I love this game. So obviously I'm gonna have a lot of good opinions and bad opinions about characters. This is not gonna be like one of those cool official tier lists. I'm just gonna be ranking them on how good I think the character is, and that's really it. Um, Mario's I definitely say an A tier. There's no really in between. I don't know why there's a G tier. I'm gonna get rid of this. There. F tier and lower. I'd say Mario is definitely an A tier. He's got some pretty simple combos. He's a great beginner character, and because of that, I think he's got some good edge. Okay, with Donkey Kong, I'd say it's a C tier. Um, he's also got some okay combos. He's a pretty hard hitter, and he's got pretty solid back air. Um, and because of that, I'd say he's a pretty okay character. Link, he's a D tier. Despite being the main representative on one of the biggest gaming franchises ever, Legend of Zelda, he actually is the worst of the three Links in this game, in my opinion. I bet a lot of people can agree with me. he's just not that good. Um, he's got some cool combos and strengths compared to the rest. He's definitely the hardest hitter. But I don't think he's just got the edge compared to the others too. He's just a bit too much of a heavier character than the others to really get up there and in the ranks. Samus is definitely an A tier alongside um Dark Samus. As is Dark Samus main and technically also a Samus main since they're just the same. Um I really like the characters, so obviously it's a bit of my opinion, but a lot of people can agree that these characters are pretty solid. They have some of the best projectiles in the game. Their neutral B is phenomenal. Um and they're just really good, solid characters. They're very fun, very enjoyable characters to play. And they have some unique attributes that make them stand out from others. Kirby is D tier. Um, another iconic gaming character that a lot of people sadly, um, overlook since he's so weak and bad. He's got some solid combos, but other than that, he's really not got much going for him. His poor speed and power really, well, his power is pretty good. He can hit pretty hard, but other than that, he's not got much going for him. Um, yeah, he is my favorite Nintendo character, which kind of sucks because he used to be good in Smash 64, but then from any game onward, he just became garbage, and that sucks. Um, and honestly, I think it's only because of his up tilt, but you know. Okay, Fox definitely an A tier. He's always been not S tier. He's always been a good character ever since Melee and 64. All those good old days, you know. He's really good character overall. Um, fast, solid hitter, can rack up damage solidly fast, and he's always got some good combos. Because of that, he's always been just a solid character. Pikachu's, I definitely say, is also an A tier. Very, very good character, very fast, very good, very hard to hit, which is a huge advantage for him. And his combo game is pretty good. Um, and can rack up damage really well. He's got one of the better neutral B projectiles in the game, just like Samus and Dark Samus, and that's pretty good. Luigi, I'd say, is a B tier. Not as good as Mario. His recovery is really what makes him worse as a character. But what keeps him up higher is his good combo game. Some of his harder hitting moves, and the fact that he's got one of the easier to do, and just outright best zero to death combos ever, just off of a single grab. Ness is a B tier. Uh, definitely not as good as the other older characters. But he's definitely pretty solid. His combo game's pretty good, and he hits pretty solidly well. He's just an okay character. He's a solid beginner too. Captain Falcon, I'd say, is also a B tier, good all rounder. He's a good mid tier kind of character. He's pretty solid. He's pretty solid. Um, Jigglypuff's, I'd say, is a C tier. I like to play Jigglypuff a lot just because the character's fun and cute. Um, fun floaty character, functions well in the sky, but other than that, on the ground they're pretty bad. Um, but their combo game's solid. It's pretty repetitive at times, but it works out, and because of that, it's pretty good. Um, okay, now we're getting a bit random off track. Some of these games characters gonna be from games that aren't from the original. Okay, we got Bayonetta from Smash 4. Say solid B tier. Combo game, she is the definition of a character with built-in combos. You just need to do like a few tilts and um side B up B moves, and then you're basically done. It's not too difficult to play her. And yeah, that's basically it. Bowser, I'd say, is a C tier. Not as bad as he has been in other games, but his still slower and heavier gameplay causes him to struggle a bit more. Being a heavy character really helps him out. but other than that, he really doesn't have much going for him. He does have a solid 4 there, though. Bowser Jr. is also C tier. Um, he's okay. Definitely got a lot of strengths and attributes similar to Bowser himself, but obviously in his own unique way. Definitely got some kill power. He's definitely a more underrated character, to say the least. Cloud's a A tier. While I would say he's an S tier, I don't have one of those complicated big tier lists with like F plus, F minus, S plus, S minus, A plus, A minus. You get what I mean. I don't have all that complicated stuff, so I can't really put him there. And I'd say he's okay, but the only thing that keeps him from being S tier in my eyes is the fact that he's not as good as he was in Smash 4, and his recovery sucks. Um, Corn is a D tier. They're okay, I guess they have a pretty good back air. But other than that, they basically suck. Probably one of the most hated characters in the game, alongside Byleth. It's always the Fire Emblem characters, which at times is okay, at times it's not. But this was just another character that nobody asked for, nobody wanted, but we got anyway. And that's just sad. Um, Peach is Peach and Daisy are A tiers, just like Dark Samus and normal Samus. They are basically the exact same character. They quite literally are actually. Just they look different. They're just different character people. Um, but they function the exact same. They're okay. They're pretty good characters. They have some pretty solid combos, and their floating ability really helps them out with that. Um, I definitely should say that they're S tier, but once again, I think that there's way better characters than them that I don't think they have exactly earned that title. Um, well, definitely they've earned the title, but this is my tier list, and since we're a lot more limited on things, I'm just gonna say that they are definitely in A tier. Diddy Kong's in A tier. Not much to say. He's just really solid character. Pretty good, pretty good. Dr. Mario, I'd say is definitely C tier. Far worse than normal Mario. Um, Actually, it's put him D tier. His recovery, in worst combo game is really what hits him hard. He's a lot harder of a hitter. He's got more kill power and his slower kind of play set movement, really helps him out in some ways, but also makes it worse in some ways to where he becomes a worse character. Especially his recovery. His recovery is a very good kill move now. His Huppy is far more better at killing, but it's also now a terrible recovery item, which is not good. Falco is a B tier. I don't think he's as good as Fox, but he's definitely a solid character, to say the least. Ganondorf, okay. Ganondorf, I'd say, is a F tier. Um, probably on, he's probably in the battle with Little Mac for the worst character in the game. He is very bad. He's very slow. He's a very hard hitter though. He can kill you very early with some of his smash attacks. But other than that, he's got quite literally nothing going for him. He can barely do combos, and he's a struggle character. Often casuals will just spam smash attacks to get around. Some of my friends will do that when they play them. Um, and professionals usually stick to moves like up air, and you know they try to make it work, and they do. Um it's a struggle, and that's not a good thing. Greninja, I'd say, is a B tier. Very fast, good gameplay. Um, like I said again, this is not one of those complicated tier lists. I definitely say he would be a lower A tier if we had one of those more complicated things, but he's still pretty solid character, and he definitely gets up there. Ike is D tier. Actually, let's say C tier. His recovery is okay, I guess. His up B can be a bit of a nuisance, but he does have a side B to help out with that, which really helps. He's got some solid kill power. His smash attacks are just like Ganondorf's in ways, but don't kill as early. Um, but he's definitely a heavier Fire Emblem character, and because of that, um, it doesn't really help him in ways. But his huge and really strong Nair, though, really does help, though. So I guess it gives him some edge. Pichu's a C tier. A huge upgrade and downgrade in some ways compared to Pikachu, just like a few other characters. Um, the only thing that keeps him back is a good few things. One, it's really his moves are really small hitboxes, and they're kind of hard to hit sometimes. You got to be really precise if you want to get some of his really cool combos off. If you do get the combos, you get a lot of damage and reward from it. But if you don't, you die. He's the lightest character in the game. He can die very quickly, and that's not good. He also, despite his speed and small body, he's just so weak. But the worst attribute of him is that all of his electricity attacks damage him, which is terrible. It's a cool reference to the games, yes, but it's also just bad because he's constantly damaging himself with half of his moveset. Over half, and that's not good. Incineroar, I'd say, is an E tier. Um, Actually, I'd say D tier. He's definitely seen some shine in the competitive thing, just the competitive stage and all that. He's really gotten some more spot in the spotlight than a lot of other characters, and that's really good because he deserves it. He's a very fun, cool character, and he deserves more because he's got some potential. Being the slowest character in the game, though, makes him have his weaknesses, though. Inkling is definitely a C tier. Inkling used to be a top tier, definitely an A tier, with especially with their move Roller, which was basically an insta death or smash attack from them, since it lasted a year to get out of it. But it's been nerfed. They've been nerfed. Because of that, Inkling has now just become a simple mid tier. Um, Definitely better than most of the other mid tiers here. Definitely on more of a skill level with characters like Donkey Kong or Jigglypuff. Probably a bit better, but they don't really have the power that they used to have to where that they can really get things done as well. Um, Ryu, I'd say, is a B tier. Along Ken, I'd say, is an A tier. This is the first time an Echo Fighter is not being um counted with the same character. Ryu is cool and very strong, and he's a pretty solid character, and he's got some okay kill power. But Ken is just him, but better. He's one of the few Echo Fighters that doesn't feel like he should be an Echo Fighter because of his moveset. It's very, very different. His moveset is very, very different. Um, he's got far more kill power and combo game. He just can do so much more and better than Ken. Not Ken, Ryu. Ken can do better than Ryu, so much more, and that's something that really gives him the edge in being an A tier over him. Uh, King DVD's being an E tier. Combo game is almost non-existent. Um, and he's just a really okay character, but he just doesn't have a lot that other characters don't. But he does have that super armor on his LP. I guess that's something. But not a lot of people are gonna fall for that, so I don't think it's really gonna work out. King K. Rool is also an E tier. The heavy characters are always getting some lower edge since they, despite being heavies, they don't really function that well, and that's really gonna damage their gameplay a lot, and that's not good. He's pretty slow. His recovery is pretty solid, and he's got solid projectiles. But ever since he was nerfed so heavily in the early days of Ultimate, he doesn't really shine as well as he used to. A little Max F tier. Um, um, he's fighting with Ganondorf for the worst character ever. Constantly. It goes back and forth pretty often. I'm pretty sure right now Ganondorf is ranked the worst, but um, those two just are bad. There's one thing that Little Mac is known for being really bad at is recovery and in the air. His air game, unlike Ganondorf, sucks. His aerials are terrible. His Nair used to be actually pretty solid. It was a really good move, but they got heavily nerfed, so it's not as good as it used to be. Um, because of that, his aerials are practically unusable, and his recovery is very bad. His up B goes nowhere, and can't be angled at all. And his side B is probably his best recovery move, but not even that good either. Because of this, yeah, if he's launched far enough from the stage, just thrown off and did like a good forward or back air far enough away from him, he is 100% dead. And me and you can just recover all safely. And that's pretty funny, but also pretty sad. Lucario just stays a D tier. Actually, it says C tier. His combo game's pretty solid. He can do some things, and his aura mechanic really helps him out. But other than that, he's not that strong, and he doesn't really got a whole lot going for him. He's just like a weaker Mewtwo in ways, and that's just saying something. Okay, Lucas, I'd say is probably a D tier. Actually, I'd say C tier too. Um, he's got okay combo game, not as good as he's definitely the worst. Definitely lives up to the name of a worse Smash. He isn't terrible to say the least. He can do stuff, and he's definitely got some more situational moves. It's definitely got a more situational moveset compared to other characters, but he's still pretty solid to where he can get around and do well. Um, Marth, I'd say, is a B tier. His Echo Fight Lucina, another example of an A tier difference. Well, the only thing that keeps Marth down is that his tipper is his main mechanic, and because he's not going to be hitting those all the time, his moves are going to be pretty weak, and that's not going to help a whole lot. Unlike Lucina, who's an all rounder and all the moves are pretty balanced and damage and knockback, and that's good for her in a lot of ways. Okay, Mega Man, I'd say he's A tier. He's probably the lowest A tier we have here. Um, he's a pretty good character. His combo game is pretty. He's got some pretty unique combos, and he's a unique character to say the least. But I don't know if he's got as much compared to the other characters to where he's, perfect. So I don't think he's gonna get as much edge compared to others. But he definitely has some solid moves to help him out. Meta Knight's a B tier. Um, this isn't Brawl, so he doesn't get the glory of S tier, but he's still a pretty solid character to where he definitely deserves the right to be a B tier. He's just always been ever since Brawl, he's always just been a mid tier character. He's always been in the middle. And that's how it's gonna probably be for a while. Mewtwo's a B tier. Actually, I'd say C tier. Definitely better than Lucario. He's older than Lucario. He's of a character than Lucario. He's been in Smash longer, and he's gonna be better for a long time. Um, Moveset just better range, better moves. A lot of good gameplay mechanics. He's got a lot of good bits. He definitely was a lot better in Smash 4, but I don't think he's as good as he was in Smash 4 to where he is deserving to be a higher tier than C. Brawler, we get the Mii fighters here. Mii Brawler's an A tier. He's really good Mii character. All of his moves are pretty solid. And he's just got some good combo game to where he can really function on the battlefield, and that's pretty good. Mii Gunner, I'd say is a C tier. Got a good forward air, and in the Nair is pretty solid. It's a pretty good character overall. It's my best of the three characters. Um, and they are just okay to say the least. Sword Fighter is A tier. They're not very good. Um, they don't function very well compared to the others, and their combo game is kind of garbage. They have to be very specific and situational, and that's really bad sometimes. Um, and it doesn't really work out for them. Mr. Game & Watch is an A tier. He is very good, very hard to hit, very unique, and he's got such a good moveset and aerials that he just outclasses a lot of characters in a lot of ways. Um, Olimar says B tier. Definitely worth being an A tier, but he just isn't as strong as he used to be in early Ultimate to where he is deserving of such a rank. Um, Sonic is definitely our first S tier. He's so fast. His movement is phenomenal. His combo game is pretty solid. He just has so much that a lot of characters don't, and his speed is his best tool. And because of this, he's basically the king of the battlefield all the time. Um, Wolf, I'd say, is a B tier. I don't know why a lot of people give him so much recognition. I definitely say he's close to being A tier, but I don't see why he's so good. Like I said, this is my opinion. So if you if you can give me some thought on why a lot of people think he's so good, please let me know, because I don't do a whole lot of Wolf gameplay. I don't see a whole lot of Wolf gameplay. I've definitely seen a bit, but I haven't seen a whole lot to where I would like to know a bit more. So if you down in the comments below when you're giving me your version of this tier list, I definitely would like to hear your opinion on what you would put Wolf, especially because I just don't know a whole lot about the character. I don't see a whole lot with him. And that's saying something. From a Smash Ultimate fan. Toon Link is a C tier. Definitely in the middle of the bunch of the three links. Um, he's pretty okay. Definitely better than old Link. He's got the speed and nice, good, solid hit, single hit moves to where he can do okay combos. But it's not as good as like characters like Toon Link to where he can really get it done. Pit is a B tier alongside Dark Pit. They're pretty solid characters. They've definitely seen more shine and competitive recently, and showing off how the character actually can shine, which is a good thing. And because of that, I think they're worthy of B tier. Pokemon Trainers an A tier. I don't know why they have all three Pokemon here, but I guess I can rank them. Squirtle definitely be B tier alongside this. Say Charizard's probably a C tier though, since he's probably the worst of the three. Um, and Pokemon Trainer's always been a really solid character. He's got a heavy, a light, and a lightweight, and a midweight all in one. Ivysaur's got Ivysaur and Charizard are the good kill characters. Ivysaur's good Sonar. The combo game all comes out with Squirtle, and then if you want to get the kill off, you either go for Ivysaur's up or down air, or if you go for Charizard, all of his good strong moves. Um, and that's a pretty good thing, honestly. There's not much else you could say other than the fact that he's a pretty good character because he's a bunch of characters in one. Really, I'd say he's a C tier. He's got a really good nair. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's really what carries him. Rob is an A tier. Um, actually, I'd say Rob's S tier, another S tier in here. And I think I just accidentally did something. Uh, no, I didn't do anything. Um, actually, did I? I said B, yeah. I accidentally moved that. But actually, as I said, um Rob's pretty good character. He's got a lot of good moves in combo game to where he can do a whole lot of stuff. And because of that, he's pretty unstoppable in some ways. Robin, I'd say, is a C tier. You gotta have a humongous brain to play this character. He is just that much of a bit of a complicated character to where he really works it out sometimes, and that's saying something. I really don't play him though. I'm pretty sure one of my least played characters. He's not boring to play, but since his moves are so limited and a lot of them you can't really use after a while, it just sucks. Rosalie and Luma is their B tier. Pretty strong, okay combo game. Luma really carries Rosalie and Luma though here, and that's why they get pretty solid results. Roy is another S tier. Very good character. He's fast. His combo game is solid. He's a hard hitter. He's the only Fire Emblem character I'm willing to play, and it's not just because he's a top tier. I actually just enjoy playing him compared to the others. And he's unlike his new Echo Fire here, Chrom. I'm gonna rank here as a C tier. Um, unlike Chrom, um, where Chrom functions like Lucina, where he doesn't have the tipper mechanic, and instead he just has the all just all balanced moves and stuff. They're just in the middle. Roy actually heavily benefits with it with his heavy kill power, and probably the thing that gives him the heavy edge over Chrom is that his recovery is a million times better, and Roy's recovery is bad. And that's saying that that's how bad Chrom's is. That Roy's is bad, and it's a million times better than Chrom's. Because Chrom's sucks. It's like Ike's recovery if it was even worse. Um. Okay, we have Sheik here is a B tier. Very good combo game, but their kill power sucks. So if you're gonna have to do like at least 54 there just to get 70%. So I don't think you're gonna be able to benefit that much out of it. And that character struggles a lot to get kills. Shulk's an A tier. He has the neutral B move, and that's why he's the best at A tier, and that's why he's worthy of A tier. Um, Simon and Richter, they're the same characters essentially. I say C tier. Um, they're both okay. They have really good range, and their projectile game is outmatched, and they are great at making sure you never touch the ground again. And because of that, they are just really solid characters. Their combo game isn't that good, but they can still do it. Snake's an A tier. Great trapper character. He can really um throw you off with a lot of his explosives and stuff. He really can make sure he controls the battlefield, and that's a good thing. Um, Villagers a C tier. Um, got some solid moves. For their combos, they're just like all they can really do at times, but it works really well, and because of that, it's good. Pac-Man's an A tier. His combo game in the air is outmatched. Got one of the best grabs in the game, and he's just such a good. Just like Snake, he's a good trapper and stuff. He can really create some crazy situations to where you're at after the battle and after he gets you with the weirdest combo ever. You're gonna be asking, "What the heck just happened?" And yes, that's exactly what happens whenever you're fighting a Pac-Man or you're playing as Pac-Man. Duck Hunt's a D tier. Not much going for Duck Hunt. That's really it. Palutena's A tier. A really strong character. Nair is the most spammable move ever, and yeah. um, Wii Fit's a C tier. Just a solid mid tier character. Not much else to say. Um, Yoshi's a B tier. The notorious A masher. For the B button spammers, get ready for A button spammers because Yoshi's the definition of that. The air is their basically their where they flourish the most. They are the king of the air. They are fighting for that title alongside characters like Jigglypuff. Their power and kill power in the air is phenomenal. Their combo game is very good. They just have a lot going for them, and that's why Yoshi's pretty solid. Young Link's main tier, his combo game is phenomenal. One of the few characters that can use his projectiles constantly for combos, and his neutral B just is phenomenal. His those arrows are just really good. Um, Zelda's me tier, probably the most spammable character in the game. The typical most hated online character in my opinion is Zelda. Love to spam up B, down B. They only know the B button. They like neutral. They love neutral B. They like down B. They love to spam up B as their movement all the time. They think it's an attack and not a recovery. Um, it's just it's very interesting, but other than that, they're just pretty meh character overall. Zero Suit Samus is a B tier. Um, Solid combo game, but the huge nerfs from Smash 4 really hit her hard. Um, Ice Climbers is a B tier. Their combo game is phenomenal. Probably can do some of the weirdest combos ever. But because of that, you would probably need 3 people holding the same controller in 5 different positions and all pressing the same button at the same times at slightly different angles just to pull off a combo that seems to be impossible. And yes, that's actually what it feels like. And trust me, I haven't tried it. I don't know why these are separate, so I'm just gonna put them in the same thing. They're just the same character. Um, Isabelle's a D tier. Not as good as Villager, but a solid character overall. Um, they definitely function a bit more unique than Villager to have their own differences, but the differences aren't good enough compared to Villagers. Wario's a B tier. He's strong. His combo game is pretty solid. He used to be better, in early Ultimate days, but he's definitely gotten the nerfs to make him a bit worse. But he's still pretty solid character to where he functions pretty well. Piranha Plant, I'd say is a C tier, not C tier, a D tier. I like to play Piranha Plant a bit. He's a pretty fun character to play at times. His combo game is okay. But he does have a lot of weaknesses that really brings him down. I know there's a lot of people that would put him in either F or E tier, but I'm not gonna put him any lower because I feel remorse and happiness when I see him because he's a character I enjoy playing, which is funny for a character that is quite literally just a joke. So yeah. Joker is an S tier, third best character in the game, as we can all agree. Um, Original best, and until the 2 other best characters came out. Um, there, Joker's pretty good. His combo game is great. He's got a phenomenal back air. His Arsene mechanic makes him even better. He's just really solid character. Heroes is a B tier, really strong kill power, and he's got power of RNG on his side. He's just pretty solid character. He can do a lot. He can do a pretty good lot. Banjo Kazooie is a D tier. I don't know why these are separate, but um, they don't have a whole lot going for them. But when you do find a good banjo player, they can actually hit pretty hard, and that's pretty good because Banjo Kazooie deserved so much, so much. Terry's an A tier. Combo game is phenomenal. His Go Meter moves are very strong, and after some practice can be pulled off pretty easily. Um, and he's just got some solid and strong moves that really make him a more unique character. Violet's a B tier. Um, a heavy, another heavy version of a Fire Emblem character. Not version, just a heavy Fire Emblem character in general, but does it way better than Ike. Got a lot of range in her attacks, and a lot of strength that makes them have good kill power. And yes, they're very slow and clanky, but other than that, they function pretty well. Min Min's an S tier. Um, Definitely really good character. Their range is phenomenal, and they have range. That's it. They're just the noodle arm range. They can reach me from the end of the map. It's terrible. Steve, best character in the game is a blocky man from Minecraft. The best-selling game in the world. Its mascot, Steve, their protagonist, is the best character in Smash Bros. Ultimate. His combo game is phenomenal. All of his moves are good. That's all I'm gonna say. He doesn't have a single bad move. Every single move is good and usable, and that's saying something. Sephiroth, I definitely see as a B tier, close A tier, but he's got a lot of range and kill power. But what holds him back from being an A tier, in my opinion, is just how light he is. He's one of the lightest characters in the game, and also one of the hardest hitters in the game, and that's funny. Pyra is the second best character in the game. Once again, don't know why these are separate. I definitely say Mythra is a bit better, just because of combos, but Pyra's kill power is a bit better too. They're just pretty solid characters, very very solid characters, and that's all I'm saying because they're actually the character I hate the most in the game. So yeah, Kizuyu is an A tier, really good character. Really, yeah, I'd say he's actually an S tier. He's really good character. His combos are phenomenal. He's got like a million moves. And one of them is quite literally just the ultimate cheater move, and it's just crazy. And Soros is a B tier. His combo game's okay. His aerial game's so fine. He's just a pretty well-rounded character. And that is it. After all that talking, the tier lists are all done. This is my Smash Bros. Ultimate tier list, at least from what I have access to. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please leave a like down below and subscribe. Leave a comment down below of what you would rank all these tier lists we just did. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.